How many times you had me pull up beside you? You get in mine and we slide through. Every time it's a vibe with you. How many times did I come over? After you yelling and screaming at me, it's over. I look in your eyes to give you closure, but baby, I might just take it further. Take it off, yeah. Got that body looking like a faucet. Know that attitude got you exhausted. You come to me just to get you off, yeah. Go crazy in it like I lost it. It's only me right now. It's all it's gonna be right now. We just living free right now.
You guys, and welcome to another episode of Growing Pains. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and today we have a very interesting topic today. I think this topic is probably going to get me canceled. You know, it's a serious topic. It's a topic that affects every community on the planet. And we gonna really get into it. We gonna talk about what the Bible talks about it. We gonna talk about we just gave it some practical things, and we just gonna be honest about a lot of this stuff. But today's episode is called "There's No Excuse for Cheating." So we're gonna dive into the aspects of what it looks like into cheating, what's the thought process of it, why people cheat, things of that nature. This is not a relationship episode, but at the same time, this is just to give some practical, I guess, thoughts and opinions to the concept of what cheating is. And we're going to dive into it, and we're going to be honest, you know, and I like to welcome anybody who's ever been cheated on, or being the person who's cheated, what your thought process was. I would love to know what your opinions are. Just jump into the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. So yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. So cheating, what is cheating? Why isn't how come cheating is not necessary? How come it's not liked amongst the general public? Well, it's simple. The obvious answer is nobody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your status is. Nobody wants to be cheated on. Nobody wants to know that you are involved with another person. It's just, you know, that's just a thing. You know, now if you and your partner or spouse have a arrangement that you guys are welcoming other people into your relationship, that's between you and your partner. But even in that has some problematic things. So like I said, we're going to dive into it, and I'm just going to be real with y'all. Like I stated before at the title of this episode, cheating, there's no excuse for cheating. And I'm going to break it down. I'm going to be honest with you. So let's break down why people cheat. Now, speaking as a man, by the way, I've never cheated before, but I've heard men say this before. When a man feels undervalued or underappreciated, or feels like he's not getting sex at home, or getting something from his wife, or even if you guys are not married, your relationships, they justify themselves by talking to another person, and they think because whatever they're not receiving at home or receiving with the person that they're with, they think it's okay to go cheat on said individual, whether they know or not. And my thing is just really this. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. And let me just be real with you. If you know that you're going to cheat, if you even think about the prospect of cheating, before you commit the act, what you should do is just end the relationship with the person. End the relationship. Only because your thoughts can trick you into thinking that if I step out and do this, I'm going to be satisfied in doing it. But the reality is that fulfilling a sexual need, or fulfilling a need that you want, is not going to always satisfy you, to be honest. It's not. You know, that's just, if I'm being honest, it's not. because there have been plenty of people who have cheated on their spouse and left their spouse with the person that they cheated with, and thinking that the person that they cheated with was supposed to be the person they were supposed to be with. And when they got with that person and decided to live with that said person, it didn't work out. And my thing is that if you want multiple partners in your life, and again, this is not advice, but if you want multiple partners in your life, I think before you start talking to anyone, I think you should be honest and say, listen, I don't want nothing serious. I just want this. This is what I want. And I want this amongst a multitude of women. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to do any of these things. I want to have free reign and have the pick of the litter of all the women who are at my fingertips. And if you're cool with that, roll with me. If you're not cool with that, then we don't need to have a conversation. I think if more people, because I'm not going to label it to just man or woman, I think if more people were more honest about what they wanted, cheating wouldn't necessarily be a prevalent thing amongst a multitude of communities. Because when it really comes down to it is that if we're honest about what we want out of our spouses, out of our partners, I think we would have a little bit more transparency when it comes down to getting with said individual. It will start to lay out the playing field. Okay, not necessarily of what's expected of you, but this is what I want to try, or this is what's required in this moment while I'm with you. And I think if we had those honest conversations, like I said, I believe that most individuals wouldn't be cheating on one another. Now, I stated earlier that there's no excuse for cheating. Now, I had somebody ask me once, what if, my wife decided to not have sex with me for X amount of months? Let's put a number. Let's say 8. Let's say 8 to 10 months. And what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to react? Well, at Momentum Media, we offer photography, videography, and DJ services. Book your appointment today at www.momentummediaent.com. Creating moments to capture your vision. Let me just say this. Sex should only be for married couples. That's number one. A husband is entitled to his wife's body. A wife is entitled to her husband's body. They are one when they get together. Now, whatever you guys decided in regards to your sex life is something that you both should be consistent in, because one of the things about being married is you are legally and spiritually allowed to engage in sex between one another because y'all are married. And that's something that you guys would have to have a conversation about. Now, if you guys are lacking sex in your marriage, what I would recommend is that you guys go see a therapist, go to therapy, because there has to be something wrong between you guys, or you guys can sit down and have an honest conversation and actively work towards you guys having more sex between one another. A lot of things, believe it or not, can be resolved in a conversation. A lot of things, actually. So some things don't even take, therapy, or some things don't even take, other people's opinions. all you really need to do is just have a conversation. I guarantee you a lot of things can be solved just by a 5-minute conversation. So to be honest, have that conversation with your spouse. And if a conversation can't fix it, always go to God about it, but also seek therapy about it. Now, I say that to say, if you've gone that long without having sex with one another, there again, like I stated before, the title of this episode, there is no logical or justifiable reason for you to cheat. There isn't. That doesn't give you the option to go be with somebody else because you don't get it from your wife or you don't get it from your husband. And you have to understand that if one or the other is withholding sex amongst one another deliberately, and you've gone to them about it, you've gone to spiritual counseling, you've gone to your pastor, you've gone to people who are trying to resolve the issue, or if one or the other doesn't just want to embark in having sex with you anymore, then I think you guys need to have a serious conversation of how to move forward. Because to deprive yourself from your husband or wife of sex is a sin. And not only that, it's like, if it's not a medical reason, if it's not a reason that, like, if someone did something wrong, if it's not a bad reason, why can't y'all be engaging? Now, I know some people are going to get mad and say, well, why did you say that only married couples can only have sex? I'll put it to you like this. If you go out here in these streets having sex with random individuals, there's this thing, just this little thing. It's called soul ties. And believe it or not, soul ties will F up your life. For real. They will mess up your life. They'll have you bonded to people and have you doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do normally. And you don't want to have so many souls on you that it's hard to just be cleansed from that. And I would just caution anybody and say, hey, and also not everybody out here is clean. I'm just being honest. Not everybody out here is clean. So if you want to go and be wild and free and spread your oats amongst the community of people out here, hey, it's a free country. You're free to do that. No judgment here. But just know there's a consequence for your action. There's a consequence for your action. That's why I said, regardless of where you are in life, if you're not married, you shouldn't be having sex at all. You shouldn't. And if that is something that you are still adjusting in your life, I would just say continue going to God about it and asking God to resolve the issue of cleansing you from those soul ties and also cleansing you from the addiction of having sex with someone who's not your husband or someone who's not your wife. And I want you to listen to me carefully because I'm not blaming one specific gender. I'm making a blanket general statement amongst people, to be transparent with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My former spouse, my ex, deliberately withheld sex from me for a long period of time. And there were times where I was more so doubting myself. I was like, is it me or, what's going on? And not one time, not one single time did I involve my body with another person at all. I didn't get involved with any other woman. I wasn't propositioned, so, you know, I mean, even if I was, I still would say no. But like the opportunity of getting with someone else wasn't made available to me. But even if it was, I had enough self-discipline to say, hey, I'm not going to cheat on my ex because I'm not supposed to. And regardless of what I'm not receiving at home, at the end of the day, I know God will deal with her. But that does not give me the right to step out on my marriage because I've been denied something at home. And I'm not going to lie, it was hard. It was tough. It was a very strenuous time. But what's up, you guys? Momentum Media is on Patreon. Joining our Patreon, you get access to ad-free content, ad-free celebrity interviews before they hit the YouTube channel. You get to ask the celebrities different questions of who I'm interviewing, town hall meetings, and exclusive content to all the members of the Patreon. This way you help support us in growing our content here at Momentum Media before it hits our YouTube channel and other various social medias. And also, if you join us today, it's only $5 a month. If you join us, you get access to many different perks and many different things exclusive to you. We want you to be a part of the family and the bridges that we're building here at Momentum Media. Join us today at patreon.com/Momentum Media. Go ahead and scan the QR code on this video and you get to have access to everything that we're doing in the future of building this brand. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our family, and we would like to welcome you to the Momentum Media family. God really got me through it, and I can't say, to be honest with you, I didn't pray. I literally just had to sit through it. And I kept myself busy for the most part with creating content and also just doing oddball stuff around the house. But for the most part, if I'm being honest with y'all, it was not easy. Living this life is like, just know it's a testimony. It's a really, really, really strong testimony. And, yeah, and I would run into individuals all the time like, yo, I just cheated on my wife. She found out, and now she's not trying to forgive me. That was in the past. Listen, man, let me tell you something about cheating and the consequences of cheating. You break the covenant when you do that, man. You break your spouse's trust. And you got to allow your spouse to make the decision whether they want to stay with you or not. Now, this is just my humble belief. This is just my belief personally, but I'm not saying anyone should follow my belief. This is just my own belief. But I don't really believe people really recover from knowing that their spouse cheated on them. I don't really think they do. Now, there have been people who have said that they have. There have been people who have said that, that they've stayed in their marriages and continued on. To be even more transparent, my dad was not unfaithful to my mom. And I didn't find out until I was much younger. Or not much younger. I would say probably when I was in high school. And I resented my dad behind that because that in itself came with its own consequences. So for me, when you cheat, you're damaging families. You're damaging yourself. You're putting a low value on what you believed in. And it doesn't matter if you're a high value, low value, whatever person. I don't really believe in, there's no such thing as high value or low value to me. But at the end of the day, cheating causes more chaos than it does resolution. So I would advise anyone who is thinking about cheating or about to cheat or someone who has cheated, I would just say be mindful of your actions. Because what people don't necessarily understand is that in this life, that there are not only consequences for your actions, but your actions affect different parts of your life. Do you know that there are certain individuals who've cheated on their spouse and their place of employment found out and they were either suspended or fired because somehow that drama made it to their job? Now, I don't think you should get fired other than, not performing well at the job. But nowadays, especially nowadays, you can get fired for anything. Okay, so I would just say, man, be mindful of the temptations that you have in your life because it can be catastrophic. One of the Bible verses that I have that I wanted to read to you guys is 1 Corinthians 10:13, where it says, God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. I have another verse. Proverbs 12:22. The righteous care for the needs of their animals. I'm sorry, I think I read the wrong verse. I'm sorry. Actually, sorry. I'm scratch that out. Matthew 5:27 through 28. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery in her or his heart. I'm going to read one more verse. This is 2 Timothy 3, chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is God-breathed and useful for the teaching, rebuking, correcting, training in righteousness. Even God says, looking at a woman or a man lustfully is committing adultery in your own heart. The Bible also even says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Let me just say something, man. A lot of us have to clean our hearts. A lot of us have to get around different types of influences because we live in a society where we have glorified and justified cheating amongst our spouses, the people that we love, and putting not only ourselves but them in dire straits. And let me just say this, God loves us so much, like he loves us so much that he wouldn't cheat on his church. Because we're his church. The people are his church. God doesn't have a second wife. God doesn't have a side chick. His wife is the church. And even though the church at times has been unfaithful, has been corrupt, has even done adultery, God himself, the standard, has always remained faithful, even when we're faithless. So my thing is to free some people to understand that what it means to go through this growing pain. Cheating causes more chaos than it does help. And losing your family, losing your loved one, losing even friends is not worth a couple hours of fun with a random individual that you don't know or someone you do know. And although I might get canceled for saying something like, "Oh, people who are not married, people who are not married shouldn't be having sex." Well, what if I don't believe in marriage? What if I don't believe in God? What if I don't believe all this nonsense you're talking about? All I can simply tell you, bruh or sis, hey, all I can tell you is, live your life. Do what you feel is necessary for you. Do what you feel is necessary for you, because I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm just here to point out certain principles and how they're supposed to be enjoyed in a particular context. Now, if you don't rock with anything that I'm saying or what the Bible has said or anything like that, that's cool. I'm not here to force you. But I want you to understand something, that I would never force my beliefs on anyone who doesn't believe in anything that I'm saying. But I would also require that you don't force your beliefs on me. I'm more than willing to have a conversation and look at different perspectives. But then I would ask, how long has it been working for you? One of my biggest disappointments that I've seen was that Neo, when he divorced his wife, he now has, I think, 2 or maybe 3 girlfriends. I don't know what it is. And I don't believe he cares for them deeply. I think it's more so a sexual thing. He's with those women to have sex. And, we are not going to live on this earth forever. So what happens when your body parts stop working? What's going to happen next? You know what I mean? I mean, it's just something to consider. I'm just saying, like, I think before we jump into, other lifestyles and what people are doing, I just want people to consider the consequences that come with those types of things. So if we considered those consequences, and if we considered the effect it would have on the people that we love, maybe we wouldn't be cheating or putting those people in danger, and not only putting them in danger, but putting yourself in danger from losing yourself, because the last thing you want is to lose yourself. So that's my take on cheating. This has been my episode of Growing Pains. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as we continue to put out more content. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm doing something different. If you guys have a prayer request, if you have something that you need prayer about, you can drop it in the comment section below, and I will make sure that you get prayed for tonight. We just ask God to be with you in your time of need. Prayer is very vital. And if there's something that you are struggling with or whatever, or there's something that you want me to address on the show, you can go to my email at momentummediaent@gmail.com. You can send me a voice message or an email about something that you have a question about or something you need prayer about. That email is open to any and everybody. So I'm going to have it posted on the screen and also in the link in the description below for any questions, prayer requests, comments, whatever. We're just now implementing that towards the end of the season, but it is something I will continue to address as we continue to put out more episodes of this show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'm praying for y'all, and y'all have a blessed day.